What's up, guys? I'm gonna go ahead and make this video for you in case tomorrow I'm not able to hop on a Zoom with you guys for our after-school meetings and install, okay? All right, today we're gonna talk about the formations that we're gonna see on Friday at practice and the way we're gonna defend them, okay? But first, we're gonna go through some of our culture stuff and the expectations for our defense this season, okay? For every meeting, just about, we're gonna look at this picture, okay? Because that's where we're gonna start the season, in the Benz versus the defending state champs in Mill Creek. And that's our goal, is to end there as well, okay? So start to get that mentality of we're going to start in the Benz and we're going to finish in the Benz when we go win a ring. All right, so let's talk about the mission and vision of our defense this season, okay? The first thing is to be sound in our alignment, all right? We don't want to get beat on the whiteboard, and what I mean by that is we want to make sure that we present a picture to the offense that is sound and they don't see a weakness in what we're showing them up front and on the back end. All right, next part of our defense is going to be our physicality at the point of attack, okay? So we're going to be very physical up front. We're going to fly to the football, and we're going to finish every play. All right, fundamentally efficient. We're going to try to keep our defense as simple as possible, all right, so we can focus on fundamentals of practice as opposed to scheme. Okay, we have to put in some scheme, but none of it's going to be worth anything if we're not fundamentally efficient, all right? Relentless in our pursuit, all right? We want to be relentless in everything we do. Okay, so when the ball's thrown on the perimeter D-line, we got to get there. DBs, you got to come downhill and play the run, all right? And we want to be unmatched in our effort as opposed to every other defense that we play throughout the state. All right, our core values, okay, for our defense is going to be passion, relentless effort, intensity, determination, and energy, okay? For passion, you got to love to play football. You got to want to be on defense, all right? Relentless effort. If you step on that field, you better give 100% of everything that you have. All right, intensity, we want to be great competitors. And determination, we're never going to give up. All right, no matter how many points we've given up in a game, all right, whether we've shut a team out or we've given up 50, okay, we're going to play the same energy, determination to make a stop every single play. All right, and then energy, have some juice and excitement about what we do every day. All right, our keys to success on defense, all right, we got to know the call. All right, so you got to get the call, whether it's from myself, Coach Carlberg, Coach Luke, Coach Dickerson helping signal things in. All right, on the sideline, make sure you get the call. There's no excuse for not knowing what to do, okay? Then you got to know your alignment. Where does that call put me on the field? What's my, depth off the receiver? What's my depth off the ball? All right, what technique am I in up front? All right, recognize formations. All right, on the back end and in the box, recognize formations and what teams do out of it. All right, what do they do when they get in deuce? What do they do when they bring a tight end into the game? Understand what's coming. Read your key. All right, there's 11 guys on the field, right? We're going to have you read one guy each play, all right, or maybe a couple of guys to give you the key of where you need to fit and how you need to react. And then lastly, you got to execute. All right, so there's 4 things that you have to do before the ball is even snapped. All right, so we got to be very mentally sharp as well. Our goals as a defense, okay? Number 1 is to win, all right? And everything else after that is how we've kind of analyzed it and said, what are these ways we can achieve that goal of winning a football game, okay? The first thing we're going to focus on is creating negative plays, all right? That's tackles for loss, sacks, creating penalties, pre-snap and post-snap penalties, right? Negative plays to push an offense back. False start, that counts as a negative play. Let's push them back 5 yards. Okay, so we got to make sure we can create negative plays. Our goal is 10 a game, all right? Force 2 takeaways, okay? We're going to have a huge emphasis on creating takeaways this season because the number 1 thing is about the ball, right? Forcing fumbles, recovering them, forcing interceptions, tip balls. We got to force takeaways each time, okay? 5 hits on the quarterback per game, all right? Doesn't just mean sacks, it means hits, right? If he runs the ball, he's got to be punished. Don't let him get down, don't let him get out of bounds. We want to be 75% on third down. All right, so every time it's a third down, 3 out of 4 times we got to get off the field. If you create that situation, we have to capitalize on it. We want to have 7 or more we call gang tackles, okay? All right, a gang tackle is going to be 4 or more people hopping in on a pile for us. All right, so that's going to be what we consider a gang tackle. Why that mentality? It comes back to relentless effort, being unmatched in intensity. All right, no score on explosive plays. An explosive play is going to be anything over 15 yards for us. All right, running or passing. All right, if they create an explosive play, we have to get them on the ground. That's the most important thing. We're going to bust on defense at some point. Whether we blow a coverage, whether we don't fit a run correctly, get them on the ground, make them have to snap the ball again. no more than 6 missed tackles in one game, okay? 6, I've created that number for us as our goal because we've never lost a game and we've had 6 or less missed tackles, all right? When you're in position, we've got to get guys on the ground. We've got to gang tackle, and we've got to be relentless, okay? No score in the fourth quarter. Play perfect in the fourth quarter. And no pre- and post-snap penalties. That's about controlling what we can control. You're going to get a face mask, right? You're going to get a late hit. Those things happen with playing hard, okay? Pre-snap penalties. That's jumping off sides, right? Lining up off sides, having too many men on the field. Post-snap penalties. All right, unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting your opponent, that sort of stuff. It's all stuff we can control, okay? All right, our expectations for us. All right, be on time. Don't be late. Don't have a lack of communication with myself or your position coach. Be prepared. That means having the right equipment. Don't come out to practice saying, oh, I don't have my mouthpiece. Oh, I don't have my cleats. Oh, I got to go get taped. You handle your business before you get out on the field. Be unselfish. Okay, that means playing the position that helps the team, right? You want to be a linebacker, and we think being safety is what's best for the team. Be unselfish. Help the team. You want to be an outside linebacker, but we think you need to be a defensive end. Be unselfish. We're going to put you in a spot where we see you on the field. Everything will be earned on this defense. Your playing time is not given to you. It is earned. Whether you were a starter last year, whether you want to play a certain position, okay, good for you. You're going to earn it. You want to be a starting D lineman, you better be in the top 4. You want to be a starting linebacker, you better be in the top 3. All right? A bully mentality. We talk about being a bully, and we're going to keep track of this throughout the season. We want to be bullies on defense, okay? So we're going to start tallying up how many bullies you get a game. So we'll count up your tackles for loss, sacks, all that stuff, your PBUs, your interceptions. But we want to have how many bullies we have. Being a bully means finishing a play unblocked, right? It means getting that extra shove in. It means jumping in on a gang tackle. Okay, all these little things. You know, it means getting off a receiver if he's going to try to block you, you know, pushing him back, getting this bully mentality. Okay? Takeaway mentality. The ball is the key to the game. We want the ball, give back to our offense. We want to go score with it. Okay? One thing we're going to do, we're going to practice turnovers every single day. Anytime a ball is on the ground, we have got to scoop and score, or we've got to jump on that ball. So, for example, if we go out to a 7-on-7, let's say it's a 7-on-7 period and it's an incomplete pass, somebody on defense better pick that ball up and run 10 yards with it, okay? 2 ways we're going to look at takeaways, and we'll talk about this. When recovering a fumble, you either need to have a city mentality or country mentality. City means there's a lot of people around. What do you need to do with a fumble on the ground when there's a lot of people? You need to get on the ball, right? Get in a fetal position, protect the ball. Country mentality means no one's around you, you can scoop and score, okay? But anytime at practice that a ball is on the ground, somebody on our defense needs to be recovering that ball, okay? Does that make sense to everybody? Every play, you either jump on it because it's a city fumble, or you scoop and score because it's a country fumble, all right? And if you scoop and score, you got to sprint 10 yards with the ball, all right? And fit up. Fit up means fit up the run. Even if we're in a low contact or walk through type of period, all right, you're going to fit up the run. That means put your chest on them, put your face on them. It doesn't mean sling them to the ground. We don't tag off on defense. We're going to fit up every single play. All right, let's talk about our install. I know you guys have gone over all this with your position coaches. They've done a great job this offseason getting you guys ready. All right, so let's look at it. We're going to get 2 types of formations from the offense on day 1, okay? First, we're going to get deuce, okay, which is 4 receivers on the field, 2 by 2 on each side. All right, then we have 20 personnel, which is 2 backs, so it's our dog personnel in our offensive terms. All right, our fronts will run G, 11, 22. Our stems will run a move call. Back, Cork, and Jet are the stunts. Might go, we'll put in might go read as well. We'll get to that. Sting and Willie, and our coverages will be lock and out. When there's a dog in the game, we'll play base. All right, so our nose will be in a shade. We'll play a bingo stunt and a cork stunt. Our blitz will run a bingo X. We'll run 1 lock and 1 out. We'll look at all that stuff. All right, let's look at our day 1 fronts drawn up, okay? So first we have G versus doubles, okay? Look at the top left corner. All right, the sign for G is I'm going to put 1 finger out sideways because that's sign language for G, okay? And you guys will just have to learn that. All right, then we have 11. 11 will hold up my index fingers on each hand to make it look like an 11. All right, that just puts our interior lineman in 11. 22 is 2-2 techniques. And then base, the nose is in a shade, okay? So there's our 4 fronts. And y'all should know all those. All right, it's pretty simple. Our day 1 stunts, okay? We have bat, cork, jet, and bingo, all right? Bat is what the wheel will call anytime he's removed from the box. So if there's 2 receivers on the field, all right, or there's some space, the formation's into the boundary and the wheel's to the field, all right, we'll call bat, bat, bat. Stands for banded across tackle. All right, our defensive linemen know how to play that. Our cork stunt, we're going to run a lot of, guys. All right, so be ready. It's JV level defense. Put everybody in the 4 gaps. Okay, very easy, but very, very effective. Jet, we'll call on some situational stuff if we think they're passing. All right, we want to get our good passers and ends out in space. Bingo will run versus the dog. It stands for bandit inside nose go. All right, so the nose is going to read the center. If the center goes away, so let's say he blocks toward our left in the situation, the nose would press back onto the guard. If he faces to him, he'll cross face. All right, same thing for the bandit. It's the same technique as a bat. All right, in your defensive terms under Coach Stewart, this would be weak knife, nose 2. Okay, but we do it so our wheel can play out in space. It helps us versus RPOs. Our day 1 blitzes, okay, we have Mike Go, all right, which is the Mike blitzing strong A. We have Sting, which is the Sam blitzing off the edge. We have Willie, which is the Will blitzing off the edge. And we have Bingo X. All right, so we can run a bingo call, but the Will and the bandit would switch responsibility. So it's just Bingo X. It's also what we could call a Willie X as well. The difference is we want the nose to still play his bingo technique, okay? So that's why it's Bingo X. All right, our stems we're going to put in, okay? The one thing we have to our advantage on defense, right? The offense can move, they can run whatever formation they want, is we can line up however we want to. All right, we're going to try to move to create negative plays pre-snap, right? So if we move at the last second, it's hard for the offense to block it because they don't know where our guys are going to be lined up. And they also may jump and create a false start for us. All right, back them up 5 yards. So let's say this. Our rule of thumb is going to be this. If I call move, you need to line up in base and then move to whatever I call next. So if I call move 22, I want the defensive line to line up in base. The Mike linebacker is going to say now, as soon as the quarterback gives the indicator, which could be his arm coming down, could be when he starts his cadence to snap the ball. But as soon as he starts his progression to snap the ball, his indicator is what we'll call it. Ready, now. And then the D-line will shift into what the call is going to be. So if we call move 22, line up in base, get to 22 before they snap the ball. So in this situation, if we called move 22 cork, line up in base, move to 22, and run cork. Okay? So we're creating a completely different picture than what we gave to the offense before we snapped the ball. All right? Same with 11. Move 11. Ready, now. The D-line's going to snap down, get into 11. Right? So what if we called move 11 cork? Line up in base, move to 11, and then run cork. All right, to keep it easy for everybody, right? All right, let's talk about our coverages, okay? 3 coverages going in. Really, it's kind of a hybrid deal with one of them being a combination of lock and, well, with cover 1 principles to it, okay? Lock means this. Everybody's locked up. All right, easy enough, right? Our leverage, 1x7 for the corners, inside leverage, and Meg means man everywhere he goes, okay? So safeties, you're going to be inside leverage, 8 to 9 yards off. All right, Coach Carlberg may move you back. He may move you forward a little bit, depends on your speed, and we're going to play around with that, okay? But start about 8 to 9, and we'll make adjustments off that. Same thing with the corners, okay? If Coach Dickerson wants to move y'all up to 6, or wants you to play off a little bit, that's all stuff we'll make adjustments with, okay? Our linebackers, you are responsible for the running back out in this situation, okay? We want you to wall 2, don't let them win inside, and then drop to the curl. Our Mike linebacker, we want you to open up to 3, which is the running back here. So look, it's 1, 2, and then 3. All right, so you push out this way, push in here, wall and 2. Does that make sense to everybody? All right, so that's lock. So in this situation, we could be in base, bat, lock.